From the Northeast Georgia Business RadioX studio, this is Northeast Georgia Business Radio. Welcome back, folks, to another exciting edition of Northeast Georgia Business Radio. I'm your host, Tom Sheldon, and we're coming to you live from the beautiful Empower College and Career Center of Jackson County. I have with me another amazing guest. I have with me today Mr. Kendall Strickland of Strickland Pride Produce. Kendall, welcome to the Northeast studio.
Thank you, sir. It's great to be with you today.
How are you, man?
I'm great. March is getting off to a great start.
Is it? I'm glad someone said that.
Yeah.
My March so far, we're only a few days in. My March has been a little sketchy. I hate to say that, but it's true. I'm married to an accountant. It's tax season.
Oh, boy.
I'm a tax widower, my friend. Feel sorry for me, please, somebody. And there's a countdown. Only 6 more weeks and tax season's over. Bless her for it.
The pressure.
Yeah. On me or her? No. Both. Enough about me. Strickland Pride Produce. Yes, produce stand / farm. Talk to me, man.
Yes, sir. I'm Kendall Strickland. I'm the owner of Strickland Pride Produce, located in Crawford, Georgia. That's in beautiful Oglethorpe County. That's about 20 miles from Athens, 70 miles from Augusta, probably about 80 miles from Atlanta, right in Northeast Georgia, kind of bordering the eastern Georgia, right on Highway 78. I sell fruits and vegetables, retail and wholesale. Most of my produce is sourced from Georgia and surrounding states, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina. I also do have a farm, but my farm is kind of dormant these days. Have spent probably most of the last 5 years pretty much focused on the produce business, which requires a lot of time on the road, sourcing produce and, being in the store, actually doing day-to-day transactions. So pretty much everything that I sell, I source from other growers.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. I think you mentioned it. You're right on 78 Highway.
Yes.
I didn't think, wow, you're that close to Augusta. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. About an hour
my mind doesn't go there. It's like way north of it, but it's not.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But now you source from growers yourself. You're not just placing an order.
Correct.
You're a little picky, shall we say.
Very picky.
Very picky. In a good way.
Yeah.
For us, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking for? Seriously.
I look for what's the freshest, and I know that sounds cliche, but, when it's in season, the closer I can get it from the farm, the better.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. The things that have not been in storage for months, things that have recently been picked, the things that still got the taste, the crunch, the bite, all of that. Because, when you're doing business in a little town.
Oh, yeah.
Word gets around, good or bad, so you better have the good.
Or don't show up next time.
Exactly.
How does that work out, though? You mentioned storage. Now, I know there's not many bell peppers being grown in Georgia in January.
Correct.
Or maybe even anywhere. I don't know. But
so
they put them in storage?
They do. This time of year, most of the produce I source is coming out of Florida.
Okay.
So I will go to one of the state farmers markets in either Forest Park or even sometimes down in Cordele, because there's not much Georgia produce coming out right now except for spring onions.
Okay.
It is being brought in from Florida. Sometimes those things can be in storage too long, but I try to be careful and make sure that it looks like it at least has just got off the truck.
I got you. Yeah, it still looks like a bell pepper.
That's right.
I mean, what do they bring it down to almost freezing? I mean, they can't freeze it, right? Freezing would ruin it.
It would, and that's another thing I'm always careful with because some produce wholesalers will bring basically the produce down to near freezing, and sometimes it will dip a little below that, and it will absolutely affect the quality of the item.
Yeah.
For example, tomatoes.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I do not like getting tomatoes that have been in a cooler. Probably the worst thing you can do to tomato. And that's like my number one seller pretty much all year round.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, certain items I'll pass on, and certain items, I'll go for if it looks like it's been fresh. And, generally year after year, you get even better at sourcing and making sure, okay, I'm going to avoid this item until this month or whatever. Right. So, yeah, it's a lot of meticulous selection this time of year, especially.
I imagine at the store, you don't always have the same stuff all the time, so it's a little bit of a mystery. Maybe not a mystery, but a little bit of excitement because you're not necessarily, as a patron,
right.
I may not know exactly what you're going to have.
That's right.
And that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And most people, especially my regular customers, appreciate that and they love it. But some folks who are a little newer to my business, they don't quite understand that because it takes a while for people to kind of graduate from your typical supermarket purchasing where you're used to pretty much having whatever you want right then and there.
Right then and there, you don't even think about it. Yeah.
Exactly. And then you come to another, a produce market, and that thing may not be available that time of year or not available that week or week to week. You don't know if you're going to get it or you're not. Or if it's there, it might be a limited supply. So by the time you get there, it might be sold out because it wasn't much to begin with. Yeah.
I could see that. Mm-hmm. How long have you been doing this, man?
It will officially be 5 years in June.
Since the store?
Since I started my business.
Gotcha.
I moved into my storefront just over a year ago.
But now you've been around agriculture your whole life, have you not?
Yes.
Whether you wanted to be or not.
That's right. Yes. It's been everything.
Because I think you were telling me off air, forgive me, I'm going to share your secrets, man. Mm-hmm. You grew up north.
Yes.
Your grandparents had a farm or something like that.
They did a lot of gardening.
Okay.
And then they actually, when they were young, they migrated from the South where they were in farming. And so they took a lot of those same ways of doing things with them back to Illinois, where I'm from. And so I pretty much grew up around, picking collard greens after the frost and, trellising tomatoes and doing all that fun stuff. Yeah. And it just kind of stuck with me. And I kind of knew early on that was going to be my life. Was ag.
So what finally drove you over the edge? Hey, I'm going to be my own business owner. Mm-hmm. I'm starting Strickland Pride. What threw you over the edge, man?
I graduated with a bachelor's in agribusiness from Florida A&M University. I went on to work for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Athens at the time. And early on, I played with the idea of owning some type of agribusiness. I knew I would own my own farm, but then I realized, generally farming these days, you got to have some type of other supplemental enterprise going on to exist.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure what that would be yet, but I began playing with the idea of a produce stand because I grew up around a lot of produce stands. I grew up with my grandparents. We'd go to Wisconsin to get cheese, just to get cheese. We'd go all the way up there to get cheese. We'd go to Indiana, southern Indiana, to go to Stuckey's. We'd go to Michigan when the apples and the cherries were coming in season. And so I kind of enjoyed that. I enjoyed it a lot as a kid. I started feeling that nostalgia again, in my career. And then government life was getting pretty boring.
Government life.
Yeah.
It was government life.
It was government life, and it was getting kind of monotonous, as you could imagine. Great career. I was a agricultural statistician, which was fine. I was good at it, but I kind of early on I knew that I wasn't going to be in that forever, and then the pandemic happened. And then I had more time to sit and think about, business ideas and plans as I was sitting at home, working from home. And then eventually I just decided to go ahead and make the leap and try it out. And I tried it out in June of 2020. And then by September of 2020, I put in my resignation.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hear you. So something good actually did come out of COVID.
It did.
How about that?
Yeah.
You are few and far between.
Yeah.
It's good, though. Well, hey, but that downtime let you more or less clear your head and think about it.
Yes, it did.
Smart.
Yes.
Smart. Good segue. Kendall, we're going to take a real quick break. We're going to get into community partner. And folks, we will be right back. One of our great community partners is Parisi Law Firm. Parisi Law Firm is the top-rated injury lawyer in Jefferson, Georgia. Are you struggling with medical bills and dealing with the aftermath of an accident? Let Jerry and his team guide you through the process to stop the struggle. At Parisi Law Firm, every client receives exceptional care and attention. Visit parisifirm.com for your free consultation. That's Parisi, Parisi firm.com. And while you're at it, check out our new website, negabrx.com, to see all our great community partners. Kendall, are you still there?
I'm here. I'm awake.
I didn't know if you were outsourcing some things, man,
Not at this moment.
Okay. Well, hey, a good-looking load of tomatoes just went by.
Oh.
You'd be remiss if you didn't at least look.
I might need to go track them down.
You might have to. Find out where that truck's going.
Yeah.
So you're a small business owner. Congratulations on that. 5 years, man. Hey, if you've made it after 5, you're gonna be all right. Mm-hmm. You got any pearls of wisdom for just not necessarily for a produce company, pearls of wisdom for someone starting into a small business, being the boss?
The first thing I would say is something that's so simple and cliche, and a lot of people probably wouldn't think much about it, but it's what a old farmer friend of mine told me when I was a teenager. He's long gone now, but it's something that resonates with me to this day. He says, start small and build up from there. It's a lot of glamour around starting a business. And, there's a lot of folks that go into it not wanting to be a small business.
Right.
People want the aesthetics, people want the size immediately. People want to get that small business development loan. People want to, jump right into it. And, it's best to start off step by step, because one thing that I know about my business and most people around me who own businesses will tell you, generally, your business will take shape of something else that you might not have originally considered, which is okay. And you have to be flexible to that and understand that it's normal, and most likely it will happen. And so you have to be conscious of the way in which you invest into your marketing and the ways in which that you can be prepared to pivot in case that you realize, okay, my market wasn't originally what I thought it was going to be, or this location might not have served the purpose that I thought it would, and maybe I should consider moving or expanding or decreasing a size in some area of my business. And so just be prepared to be flexible and definitely take it in baby steps.
I never thought of marketing a produce stand, but I've been around you enough to know that you do.
Yeah.
That's almost probably gotten to be more of a job than anything.
It is.
But you got to do it.
Yeah. And back in the day, when somebody was the quote-unquote produce man, he was pulling up in a truck, maybe had a trailer, maybe a stock trailer, maybe a flatbed, or maybe even a big dump truck with some sides on it or something, and he had to load it down with produce. Back in the day, you could pull up somewhere to a gas station, side of the road, out in the field somewhere, and not even put a sign up.
Oh, yeah.
And you would probably sell out.
Oh, yeah. Loads of cantaloupes melons, tomatoes,
Yeah.
the tailgates, the back bumpers of the pickup trucks would be on the ground
Yeah.
when they got there.
Yeah.
So much on the truck.
That's
Oh,
real
yeah.
Georgia for you. Yeah.
That is real Georgia. And if you didn't see the guy, you'd see him for a few weeks. And if you didn't see him, you start worrying about him.
Yeah.
What happened to him? Where'd he go? Is he all right?
Yeah. Where's the cantaloupe man?
That
go?
that was growing up in Georgia. 40 years ago, it was. I hadn't even thought of that, man. Cool. Sorry. You're taking me down memory lane now. Wow.
Yeah. And when I started my business, I kind of thought, well, put a few road signs out there, because I started with just some tables in the back of my truck. And I learned that no, you definitely, especially based on, the vision I had for my business, you gotta invest in marketing. You gotta have a Facebook page. You probably need to have an Instagram page. You need to build your following. You need to have signage. You need to be visible. You need to spend some time actually figuring out who your target market is and what prices they're willing to pay, and how you're branding your actual products, because, a tomato in this county might not be what a tomato is in another county.
Yeah.
So, all of those little bitty factors of each and every item that I carry, it requires a certain level of knowledge of how to market that product.
Well, you got to know your I'm going to say constituents. Sorry. You know where my mind's at. Wow. You got to know your market.
Yeah,
Who's coming into your store and who can spend money, who's willing to spend money.
that's right.
Without that, you're sunk.
That's right.
What's the craziest fruit or something that you've come across that you've actually sold? I see stuff in supermarkets. I have no idea what it is,
Yeah,
let alone eat it. I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
that's right.
It might bite me.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Well, I'll give you a good one. Persimmons.
Okay.
Most people, when they see a persimmon, it reminds them of the wild persimmons that they might have tried when they were a kid.
Yeah, we had those, and they made a mess on driveways.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know how to eat them, they turn your mouth inside out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when they're ripe, they're probably one of the best
Really?
fruits ever.
See, okay, I'm guilty. I've avoided my whole life.
It's
Self-defense.
Yeah, it's a lot of trauma, because, if you bite into one that's hard because you think, oh, well, it's like an apple or a peach or something, it's firm, it's the worst thing you could do to your mouth. But when you have a good ripe persimmon, and the folks who know about them, they know, it's better, I got to be careful what I say, but it's better than peaches.
Oh, wow. I'm not going to, wow. I'm not going to ask you about those onions from Lima, Peru.
Oh.
I won't ask you about those.
Oh, gosh.
I'll really start a war.
Yeah, that's right.
Peruvian onions, I'm just saying.
Well,
Anyway,
yeah.
never mind.
I know what you mean.
We're moving on. Kendall, I like you. Hopefully you like me. We got to get out here in one piece.
Yeah.
But now you are part of Georgia agriculture. Mm-hmm. Agriculture's still king in Georgia. And not everyone realizes that. Some people don't even want to admit it.
That's right.
But it is. Mm-hmm. You're a part of that, man. That's so cool.
Yeah. And I love Georgia agriculture. And, again, I'm a transplant. But when I came here out of college almost 10 years ago, I learned pretty early on just how strong the market was for in-state Georgia agriculture, how much promotion, how much support is given to Georgia farmers from within the state. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the factors that helped me make my decision on first staying here for my career, and secondly, purchasing land, starting a business. We have a really good brand for Georgia agriculture. And like you said, a lot of people don't realize it. I remember bringing a friend of mine down from back in Illinois. Well, we were headed to Florida. and we were driving through South Georgia, and we were looking at the cotton fields and the pecan orchards and, peach orchards, and he had no idea that, this is pretty much this whole state outside of Atlanta.
That's right.
And it's a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I love Georgia ag, it's so diverse. It's so much more diverse than people realize between the vegetables, between the fruits and the nut crops. You go to any side of the state and you're bound to see a whole different ag landscape, and it's a whole new thing to learn about. So, yeah, I love it.
Come up here, you're going to get a lot of cows and chickens.
That's right.
A few hogs thrown in the middle.
Yep, chicken capital.
It is.
Yes.
It is. Mm-hmm. And what, South Georgia, a lot of peanuts, I guess? A lot of soybean?
In some areas, a lot of peanuts. Some areas, a lot of soybeans and corn. Other areas, cotton is pretty much king still.
Yeah.
And other areas, it's nothing but miles and miles of timber or miles and miles of.
Well, it's true. The timber trade is huge. A lot of people don't realize that here in the state of Georgia.
Yeah.
It
That's
is.
right.
Our wonderful Southern Pines.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, my friend, you mentioned social media. Mm-hmm. I know you're on Facebook. What else are you on?
I'm on Instagram as well. Strickland Pride Produce on both platforms. Facebook is where you probably will catch me updating you on a daily basis of what I've got in stock and what's coming and prices of things, retail and wholesale. My Instagram page is kind of where you may catch me talking about some general business ideas, produce-related concepts, introducing people to items that may be new to them that you may not find in most grocery stores, like Georgia Satsuma or like a Georgia-grown honeydew melon or something like that. And I spend a lot of time, maybe a little too much time, talking about those things on Instagram. And I kind of use that platform to reach out to customers or potential customers or supporters who are in other more long-distance places. But Facebook is definitely the place where you want to find out what's on the tables and how much it all costs and what's coming soon.
I hear you. Mm-hmm. All right, now, physically, where are you at? I know Highway 78.
Yeah.
That's a gigantic road.
That's right.
I mean, I immediately go to Snellville when I think of 78, right?
Yeah.
You're not in Snellville.
Yeah.
Nowhere close.
I had some friends of mine who had a business right on 78 in Snellville, and they were a big inspiration to me in starting a small business. So to be, probably 80 miles away from there on Highway 78 is like a big full circle moment. But yes, I'm on 1120. I'm at 1129 Athens Road, Crawford, Georgia. Again, right on Highway 78, next to Crawford Laundry, near G Brand Barbecue. Once you pass the only stoplight in Oglethorpe County, I'm right on your right.
Uh-huh.
So you can't miss me.
Okay, folks, you have no excuse now.
Yeah, that's right.
Just past the stoplight.
That's right. Going east, of course. Going east from Athens to, like, you're going toward Washington, Georgia and Augusta, Georgia. I'm on your right, just past the stoplight.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Out there in Oglethorpe County.
Yes, sir.
Well, brother, did we get it all in?
I think so.
Nice. We covered a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Good.
Yeah.
They're going to play music, and I got to wrap up. And
all right.
Kendall, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, sir.
I enjoyed
Mr.
it.
Sheldon. I loved it. Thank you, sir.
Always welcome.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
folks, check out Strickland Pride Produce. Check them out on Facebook. You're out in Oglethorpe. Mm-hmm. The stoplight. Hey, he's right there. No excuses, folks. Fresh produce. I'm Tom Sheldon. We'll talk to you soon.